Two questions, I'm going to just combine them because I think they build on each other. First question says, we've done initial Kaizen training for employees and managers, now what? And then Cade asked, what are some of the leadership requirements in healthcare? So I combine those questions because I think the simple answer to what comes next after training is lead, engage people, figure out what you need to do to go put that training into practice. And Greg, I know you can speak to this. When you've trained people on Kaizen, it's one thing to know the concepts and the terminology, but what really matters is, I think, learning by doing in the practice.
And I think what's really important here is to get small wins quickly. And what's interesting is whether you're on day 1 or on day 10,000 of your journey, actually getting small wins is the core way that you're going to build a culture. So it's funny because the way to start is actually the way to do it, but we kind of forget that there's nothing magical about going out and looking for waste and finding small, low cost, low risk opportunities to get better. And the great thing about that is it's the best way to start.
Yeah, I think you're right. There's nothing magical about it. I think it's a function of effort. There's some mindsets and some belief that Kaizen, engaging people in continuous improvement, is going to be worth the time. A belief, or at least a good solid hypothesis that says my employees have ideas. They, and leaders then have to create an environment where people feel safe to speak up. Leaders need to help people take action to move forward. So it's not just training people, it's not just collecting ideas, it's figuring out what we can do to move forward. So I think that takes a push from leadership over time. Things can become a little bit more self-managing within a team, but I think leaders really need to get out there and try to get that process kicked off.
And remember the KISS principle, keep it simple, stupid, right? Don't overcomplicate when you're trying to take your first couple steps in developing a culture of improvement. Simply say, hey, what frustrates you at work? Let's identify it, and then let's do some bantering about it. Let's go study the process. Let's go try an experiment to see if we can make it better. Yeah. And don't make it too complicated. So.
Yeah, you can also say, keep it simple, smarty, because smart people tend to overcomplicate things.
I like it.
Smart people who often need the reminder to keep it simple.
Maybe that's why at Home Slice down on South Congress, they give you Smarties at the end of your meal.
Oh, the little candies.
Yeah.
We can leave it an open question if they're giving them to you because you're smart or because they're hoping it'll make you smart.
Regardless.
Yeah. So I think kind of dovetails into the next question here from Luz. What are some proven strategies to get staff to suggest or come up with projects? So the first thing I'll touch on